Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. This is episode number 66, and in today's episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode, we're continuing our progress here in the World Cup with Brazil in Russia 2018. In the last episode, which you would have seen this morning, we got through our group very comfortably. 3 wins from the 3 games we played, 0 goals conceded, and 4 goals scored. It was very routine really. So going into the round of 16 stage, the first knockout stage of the World Cup, we would take on Australia for this stage here, and I was thinking to myself, this is a pretty good draw for us. You know, no offense to Australia, they're a good nation, they got some really good players, and one of the best players of all time in Tim Cahill, definitely, no bias there. But either way, I was thinking this is definitely a team who we should be able to get through, and we should be able to beat with probably minimal fuss. They had the first chance of the game though, Valente forced into a good save, and then Cesar smacked the woodwork from this free kick here, a pile driver, but unfortunately it did hit the post, and it was still 0-0. The 14th minute would see another chance for us here though, as Felipe Anderson cuts inside from the left and goes for goal, but drags his shot. No, sorry, he didn't drag his shot wide of the post. He shot it on target, but Ryan made a pretty simple save, and then the offside flag was raised. So it was still 0-0. The 90th minute, Australia went on a break here with McLaren, taking it around our skipper, Thiago Silva, and going down this right-hand side. We were scattered at the back and all over the place, really, for our marking. The cross came to the centre. Holland controlled it, gave it to Rogic, not sure how you pronounce that, but he gave Australia the lead and stunned us here to make it Brazil 0, Australia 1. And coming into the game, maybe overconfidence was the problem here, because I was thinking to myself, you know, Australia aren't a bad nation whatsoever, but we should be able to get through this game. We should be able to go through to the quarterfinals, and they would take the lead and score the first goal against us in the entire World Cup so far. So Brazil 0, Australia 1, not good to see. And Matty Ryan was having a fantastic game for Australia as well. The Valencia shot stopper making a couple of great saves here and keeping his side still in the lead. But just before the break, fortunately for us, we wouldn't be going into half-time trailing by a goal, because Hulk got on the end of a Marcelo cross and headed it past the goalkeeper and made it 1-1. So back on level terms, and as the game was going on in the first half, I was thinking we've had so many chances, we've got to take one. I don't want to go into the second half still trailing by a goal to 0. Marcelo, it's in a great cross to the centre though. Hulk lost his man, headed on the cross and put it into the back of the net for his first goal of the competition. So Brazil 1, Australia 1. We definitely deserve to be on level terms, if nothing else, if not in the lead in my opinion, but still it was 1-1. We were back on level terms, but in the second half here, not much was really going on until the 80th minute with 10 minutes to go before the end of the game. Hulk was played the ball down the right hand side, got past 1, then got past 2, and found the back of the net as well, and gave us the winning goal with just a few minutes to go. A really nice solo effort from Hulk there, played down the right hand side, Berber spin round one defender, then a heel-to-heel flick round the other, and for Matty Ryan, he had a really good game, made a few really good saves. This shot had a lot of power on it, and unfortunately for him, he could get a touch on it. He got a lot of contact with the ball, but couldn't keep it out. He could only divert the ball on to the post and into the back of the net. So Hulk scores the second goal of the game, like he scored the first goal. Both goals coming late on in the first and second halves of the game, and we do win the game by 2-1. So both goals being scored by the Zenit winger and the former Porto man does ensure we will go through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So it certainly wasn't as convincing as I was expecting it would be. It certainly was not the game which I thought would be a walkover for us really, and that's no disrespect to Australia, it's just that we got through our group so comfortably. I thought we'd have no problems in the round of 16 as well, but clearly we weren't as good as I thought we would be, and the overconfidence I think was the real problem in that game. So coming into the quarterfinal tie, we will take on Spain here, so this one certainly wouldn't be as easy as the games we played in the group stage, but nothing really happened in the first half. It was goalless at the break. There'd been a couple of attempts, but really no clear-cut opportunities. But in the second half here, 20 minutes after the restart, a great chance for Spain to take the lead as Juan Mata and DeMarcos played a 1-2. DeMarcos cut inside and found Isco. He picked out Diego Costa, the Brazilian-born Spaniard, and fortunately for us, he couldn't hit the target. What a story it would have been had Diego Costa knocked out his home nation from the World Cup, but it was still 0-0, and in the 70th minute here, Hulk almost scored his third goal in 2 games. He was denied by a fantastic save by David De Gea though, and the game did finish 0-0. So not the most action-packed of games here, and the game would go into extra time. And in this extra time period, the first chance would fall here 5 minutes into it as Douglas Costa goes down left-hand side here. Fake Raboners and then rainbow flicks round DeMarcos, but he runs into Juan Mata after he made the challenge. It came to Thiago Silva, and after the loose ball was found by Silva, he played it through to Oscar. He found Alex Sandro off the bench. He picked out Danilo, and our right back fires the ball in and opens the scoring to make it Spain 0, Brazil 1 as he runs to the corner flag to hit it in celebration, and the teammates come and celebrate with him. So honestly, despite there being quite a few shots in this game, there weren't too many clear-cut chances. We took the first one in extra time though, a great little ball in by Alex Sandro, and a really good finish by Danilo as well, keeping his nerve and rifling the ball in and making it 1-0 to Brazil. And it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Spain 0, Brazil 1. That puts us into the semi-finals of the World Cup, and again, not the best of games, despite there being quite a large number of shots, but really defensively, we were very good in this game, and particularly Danilo, who was my man of the match. He was an absolute rock at the back, and I've said before, sometimes fullbacks go very unnoticed, particularly in FIFA, but Danilo in that game was fantastic, not just scoring the winning goal and the only goal of the game, but his efforts on the defensive end as well were really appreciated. So we won the game by a goal to nil. We are through to the World Cup semi-finals, and for the semi-final we will take on Portugal. Now, and whoever got through this tie will be taking on England in the World Cup final. How about that? Is that a prediction for what's to come in Rush 2018 in real life? Well, let's certainly hope so. But still, taking on Portugal here for the World Cup semi-final. Very excited for it, but despite our very impressive group stage, the knockout stages haven't really gone the way we were probably planning. Despite getting through both ties, they weren't convincing wins. So coming to this one against Portugal here, we wanted a fast start, try to get off the mark straight away like we did in the first 3 games of our group stage, and we were denied the first chance, first shot of the game, first goal of the game even, by a really good save by Rui Patricio, turning Lima's shot behind for a corner. So still 0-0. Portugal had a second chance of the game, but it was still 0-0 at the break. Once again, not too many chances in the first half, but in the second half, how about this? After praising Danilo for his fantastic performance in the last round, I made a stupid error with him, tried to dummy the ball and trick Ronaldo, got caught out, Ronaldo went through, and fortunately for us, Cesar Valente made a really good save to deny Cristiano Ronaldo and turned the chip shot behind for a corner. So I was almost left completely red-faced had it not been for a great save by Valente, and the score was still 0-0. It was how the game would finish as well, so once again, a game would finish as a goalless draw and we would go into extra time. And the first chance of the extra time period here would come to us in the 92nd minute as Willian found Hulk. Hulk played it through towards Lima, through towards Dudu here, down the left-hand side. He tried to catch Rui Patricio out the near post. It didn't work though, and the goalkeeper turned it behind for a corner, so still 0-0. The good chance here though for Portugal in the second half extra time here. We failed to deal with this ball. Oliveira went for goal and smacked the ball onto the post as it went behind. So still 0-0, but both sides were looking so good in this game and looking very menacing indeed. And how about this for the final chance of the game in extra time? Cristiano Ronaldo bobbed and weaved and got himself inside, and Cesar Valente pulled off an absolutely superb save on the one-on-one when it looked for all the world that Cristiano Ronaldo would send Portugal into the World Cup final. Cesar Valente at 19 years old denies him and turns the shot behind for a corner. So what a moment that was. Cesar Valente denying Cristiano Ronaldo and sending the game into a penalty shootout. So penalty shootout would decide who would go through to the World Cup final between Portugal and Brazil, and it was a really fun game too, very tight and tense due to the fact it was extremely balanced, and with Valente denying Cristiano Ronaldo on 3 separate occasions during the game, one had to wonder if he could do it in a penalty shootout as well, and would find out with the very first penalty, because Ronaldo would stand up and take the first spot kick of the shootout, carrying a nation's hopes and dreams on his shoulders, and wouldn't you just know it, Cesar Valente denies him once again. He guesses correctly after Ronaldo's stutter, but unfortunately the celebrations were short-lived because Rui Patricio then denied Danilo from the following penalty. So 2 penalties taken, 1 by either side. It was 0-0 until Oliveira opened the scoring from Portugal's second spot kick. So 1-0 to Portugal, and then Rui Patricio once again performed the heroics, denying Hulk from the spot and giving Portugal the 1-0 lead and preserving it as well. Nani had a chance to double the lead and make it 2-0 in the shootout, but once again we saw another missed spot kick. That was the 4th in 5. So when Leandro Lima converted this one for us, there was a huge sigh of relief around the stadium. 1-1 and back on level terms. João Moutinho would then take the next one for Portugal and once again go down the middle. The skipper converts it and it's 2-1 to Portugal. We simply had to keep scoring. Our skipper would then stand up next and also score himself, Thiago Silva, putting it into the top corner and keeping the score level as things stood. So 2-2. Valente then tried to put off Carico from the following penalty, but once again Portugal went down the middle, which meant that with this penalty here, the 5th one for us, Cesar Valente had to score it, otherwise we were on the plane home. So a massive moment in Valente's career. He had to score the penalty penalty, and of course he did. He rifles the ball in and also levels the score. So 3-3, and we go into sudden death. William Carvalho will stand up to take the next penalty for Portugal. The first one is sudden death, but Valente would make the save, which meant with the following penalty, Dudu could send us into the World Cup final if he converted it. A chance for us to go through to the World Cup final. Dudu against Rui Patricio. We'd missed 2 in the shootout, but not 3, because I went down the middle, something I rarely ever do, because I saw the success Portugal were having doing that, and wouldn't you just know it, it worked out for us as well. Dudu smashes the ball into the roof of the net and sends Brazil into the World Cup final. But for Cesar Valente, despite Dudu being the guy that won us the game on the shootout, he's my man of the match for 3 big saves against Ronaldo in the game, and then 1 in the shootout as well. And then with all the pressure on the 19-year-old shoulders, he had to score his 5th penalty for us, otherwise we were going home. He scored it, and then with the very next penalty, he saved that from Portugal's William Carvalho to give Dudu the chance, and he obliged. So this final score on the shootout was 4-3 to Brazil. Not the best of shootouts whatsoever. Very nerve-wracking, very tense and very tight indeed, just like the game really. But we've made it through to the World Cup final. Delighted with that, and we do progress, and Cesar Valente proved to be the hero. But that is going to end today's episode of the Bundesliga career mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching it. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed this episode of the Bundesliga career mode, then please do leave a like. That is of course much appreciated, and it really helps the channel grow as well. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the World Cup final against England very soon.